between the Central Methodist Eagles and the Tabor College Blue Jays. I am Charles Veal alongside my partner Joe Baker, and we are in for a treat tonight. A high-scoring affair is expected between both teams as they'd like to get out and run. Coming into today, Central Methodist is undefeated on the short season. They are 3-0, and the Blue Jays with a record of 1-2. This is the Tabor College Basketball Classic. This is the first game of the year for the Blue Jays. We have a couple of key players to watch for the game. So, Joe, who should we look out for today?
Well, let's start out with Central Methodist. The big key player for Central Methodist tonight is a senior guard, Terrence Bush. Bush, who actually comes off the bench. He's averaging 20.3 points per game and is a threat from downtown with a 58% field goal percentage from distance. A true scoring threat for the Eagles that has proven to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and shooting that well from beyond the arc. Coaches like their players to shoot above 40%. That's considered really good, but to shoot above 50 and 58 nonetheless, pretty lethal. So Tabor has to look out for him. So who are your key players for the Blue Jays?
There are two players for the Blue Jays that have stood out. First player is 6'2" junior guard Ricky Battles. He is currently the Jays' leading scorer with 18 points per game, and he is also shooting 50% from the field. And our second player is Darnell Jones-Bowie. He will play a critical role in tonight's game. He's averaging 14 points per game and is shooting an incredible 62.5% from downtown.
That is impressive. We are going to talk throughout the night about the roster turnover through the last year. The Blue Jays returned one starter in their starting lineup, so a lot of new faces in this opening match of the season at home. So what are your keys for the game?
Well, the keys to the game for the Blue Jays have to box out on the block. Rebounding has been a big, tall task early on for this undersized group for Coach Ratzliff. Central Methodist comes into tonight's contest with an astounding plus 17.7 rebounding margin to Tabor's 0. If Tabor wants to be competitive in this matchup, they have to be competitive on the glass. And the second key is defending the three-pointer. The Eagles average 11 made threes per game. The Jays have to be effective in defending the three-point line.
Absolutely. You talk about the rebounding. We talked to Coach Ratzliff before the game, and this is not one of his tallest team. Size is somewhat of an issue. He goes with small lineups, so being able to box out on the block is going to be huge for this undersized Tabor team. And so, as you mentioned, that difference in rebounding for Central Methodist is huge. So if Tabor tonight can box out, what do you expect?
I think they can win, Charles. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring affair and highly competitive. I feel this is a great non-conference test for the Blue Jays early in the year. Hopefully get some guys some minutes, some guys that don't really play as much, get them confident, and really just play well.
So to go into the Blue Jays record a little bit, they start out 1-2 on the season. They lost to the College of the Ozarks, but unfortunately in that game for the Blue Jays, they didn't have their first-string point guard or their second-string point guard. They both were not able to play in that game, so they kind of struggled in that game. In their second loss to Bellevue, they actually held a lead in the second half, but allowed Bellevue to go on a 20-0 run. What do they have to do today to maintain that lead in the second half and not let Central Methodist to go on that run?
Just be consistent, be aggressive on the glass, go after 50-50 balls, have to be consistent at the free throw line and shooting. We'll see if the Blue Jays have what it takes tonight to get the victory.
And we're hoping for a good game tonight. We are a minute towards the starting lineups being announced, and we are going to get back to you guys with the starting lineups in a second. And at this time, we're going to announce the starting lineups first with the visiting team. Joe.
Yeah, Central Methodist starting at guard is number 0, Tyler Zinn, number 10, Josh Robinson, number 12, Cameron Tutt, number 23, Eric Locke, and number 24, Christian Soderholm. So 3 seniors, 2 juniors for Coach Sherman tonight as they look to get their 4th victory on the year.
And as we learned before the game, number 0, Tyler Zinn, has a little bit of a local connection as he went to high school right down the road at Marion High School for his senior year. And now for the starting lineups for your Tabor College Blue Jays. Starting at guard is number 2 from Chicago, Illinois, Darnell James Bowie. At the other guard position is Tez Scroggins. Also playing guard is number 13, Ricky Battles. The lone returning starter for the Blue Jays is number 15, DeAndre Cutliff. And then rounding out at the other guard position is number 23, Tevin Berry. We cannot stress to you enough how important it is to have veteran players at this level. With Tabor only returning 1 starter, Coach Ratzliff is really stressing team chemistry so far in the season. How do you see that developing in the non-conference schedule for Tabor?
Well, it's a very inexperienced team. We're early in the year, a lot to figure out. We have to gel the offense, have to gel on defense, have to communicate very well. We're going to get a good look at what Tabor can be tonight.
So tipping off is DeAndre Cutliff for Tabor and number 24, Christian Solderholm. Ricky Battles controls the ball. Outlet to Tevin Berry. Gets it on the wing to Jones Bowie. Ted Scroggins controls the ball out top, gets it inside to Cutliff, and he is fouled on the play. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. So ball movement, very impressive on that first possession.
Yes, you have to get the ball inside. I mean, have to be physical and try to draw some fouls, get some of their guys in foul trouble. We'll see early on.
Number 12, Cameron Tutt on the foul. Cutliff misses the first free throw. On the year, DeAndre Cutliff is averaging 11 points a game. Big points for the senior forward from Moore, Oklahoma. He is able to drain that second one. The Blue Jays with an early 1-0 lead. Josh Robinson controlling the ball for the Eagles. Eric Locke to the right wing, gives it to Zinn. Running a little bit of a 3-man weave with the high ball screen. Good defensive play by Cutliff. And then in transition, Ricky Battles finishes with the layup. That was very impressive, wasn't it? Yes,
he can score. He's a big scoring threat for Tabor. He's very skilled.
Cameron Tutt gives it off to Eric Locke. They give it to Tutt down low on the block. He is defended by Tevin Berry. Tevin slaps that ball away from him out top. Tyler Zinn controls the ball. He's guarded by Cutliff down low. Cameron Tutt misses. Rebounded by Ricky Berry. Ricky Battles, beg your pardon. And Ted Scroggins with the layup. The Blue Jays have an early 5-0 lead. What are they doing well right now?
Well, they're just playing well in transition. They're getting those buckets, being really quick. They're playing very aggressive, actually. It's something that Coach Ratzliff mentioned pregame, that they haven't really been playing aggressive in the recent games. So hopefully, I mean, they can make a statement tonight.
And on that play, you see they got out in transition early. Ricky Battles with the rebound, and he gave it up very quickly to number 5, Tez Scroggins. He is a junior out of Topeka, Kansas. So a lot of new faces, but they are gelling together right now with 18:48 left to go in the first half. And Tabor picking up about 3/4 court. See Ricky Battles face guarding Cameron Tutt. Josh Robinson controls the button. They finally get the ball to Tutt. And Ricky Battles playing solid defense in his face. Again, with the 3-man weave, they give it to Zinn on the left corner for a 3 ball, and that is in.
Keys to the game before the game, have to guard the 3-point ball. They really shoot the 3 really well.
They do shoot the 3 well, and now it's a 5-3 game, and Ricky Battles drives in and draws a foul. It will be on the floor. They were inbound the ball under the basket. Jones Bowie kicks it to Battle, back to Bowie, down low to Cutliff. Cutliff on the block, not been able to do much to it. Battles out top again. Kind of stagnant right now on offense.
Tabor really slowing it down right here. This is unlike them to start the game.
Cutliff with the pump fake, drives to the lane, kicks it out to Battles for a left corner 3 ball. Strong. Rebounded and tipped out of bounds. You got to credit DeAndre Cutliff right there for a hustle play. And Coach Ratzliff told us before the game that those 50-50 balls were huge, and they needed to get those to win this game. Scroggins inbounds the ball to Jones Bowie. Jones Bowie to Tevin Berry on the right wing. Scroggins with the ball controlling back to Berry. Jones Bowie guarded by Eric Locke. That is a matchup that we will look forward to all night. Bowie's 3 is a little bit strong, rebounded by the Eagles. Pushing the ball up the court is Josh Robinson. And an interesting matchup that we need to keep an eye on is between number 23, Eric Locke, and number 13, Ricky battles for Tabor. That is going to be an interesting matchup at the guard position. Locke drives to the lane, kicks out to Robinson. Back to Zen on the right corner, gets a pick. Drives in, kicks it to the baseline, and he's going to be fouled. Drawing the foul was number 12, Cameron Tutt. It drived hard, and he was fouled by number 5, Tez Scroggins. So a little bit physical on the defense, but maybe that is what you want to see if you're Tabor, showing that you're not afraid to be physical.
Absolutely. Tough opponent. You need to show them that you're not afraid of them, and hard foul sends a message.
At the line, Central Methodist is shooting 69% from the year as Cameron Tutt makes that free throw there. Cuts the lead from 5-4. 17:08 left to go in the first half. Second free throw from Tutt to tie the game. The southpaw from the line makes it. Tez Scroggins with the ball. Guarded by Tyler Zen. Ricky battles. And they run a 4-out, 1-in offense with a lot of motion in it, a lot of ball movement. And Ricky battles.
Be a trouble.
Forcing the issue, and Coach Ratzliff told us before the game that they need to work as a team and he doesn't want the isolations to be too much of a factor in their offense. He wants ball movement, he wants picks, he wants a lot of cutting going on. And right there, Ricky Battles just kind of took it upon himself and went to the lane and traveled. Zen with a quick release 3 ball. And that is nowhere near the rim, and that's an air ball out of bounds to Tabor.
Charles, have to keep an eye on Terrence Bush. He's finally in the game. He averages over 20 points per game. Tabor's going to have to keep an eye out on him on defense.
And Terrence Bush loves to shoot that 3 ball. They have to look at him on the perimeter and minimize any open looks from beyond the arc.
Last few possessions, Tabor's offense has been very stagnant, not really moving as quick. We'll see if they can buy a bucket here.
And it's important for them to get out in transition, but right now, Tez Scroggins drives to the basket and draws the foul. And that is what you want. You want to be aggressive early on. You want to draw fouls. You want to get to the line. And the foul is on Tyler Zen. The Blue Jays are coming into this contest shooting right above 70% from the stripe.
It's early, but those free throws are critical. Have to make them against a team like this.
Scroggins on the year is only averaging 3 points a game, and entering the game for the Blue Jays is number 4, A.J. Downing. And when we were talking to Coach Ratzliff before the game, he was really, really proud of how he has played so far this year. Scroggins at the line. He's able to make both. Zen with the left wing 3. That is a second 3 ball on the game. And the Eagles take the lead 8-6.
Tyler Zen can shoot it, folks.
Cutliff gives the ball to Barry. Over to A.J. Downing at the top. And they're really struggling right now to communicate with each other, and that's what we were talking about with the chemistry that they need to build early on, knowing who to cut and when to cut. Jones Bowie with the aggressive drive to the basket, and he finished the layup.
Very athletic finish there by Jones Bowie.
And it ties the game up at 8. Eric Locke controlling the ball, guarded by Tez Scroggins, and they're in this 3-man weave again. Locke with the ball, he's driving in, he is cut off beautifully by Tez Scroggins. Jones Bowie with the nifty fake behind the back, and he draws the foul on Zen. I believe that is his second. That is going to be big because he has hit 2 early threes, and picking up 2 fouls early on may play a factor in whether he stays in or not.
Tabor really working well in transition tonight. They draw yet another foul in transition and getting Central Methodist best players in foul trouble early.
And we know they like to push the ball up the court.
Zen seems frustrated with the call.
Jones Bowie misses the first free throw. Darnell Jones Bowie on the year is averaging 14 points a game. For his first year in a Blue Jay uniform, that is exactly what you want to see. He is a senior. He's a transfer, and he's a 6'1" senior out of Chicago, Illinois.
Him and Battle are going to be a very good backcourt tandem, I think.
And he makes the second free throw, gives Tabor a 9-8 lead. Entering the ball game for the Blue Jays is number 0, Tyrell Thompson, the native of Richmond, Texas. Just a sophomore, listed as a forward. Josh Robinson. Over to Cameron Tutt.
Deep three.
And there he is, that man we talked about, Terrence Bush, firing away, and that's a tray ball, and the Eagles go back on top 11-9.
From Steph Curry range.
Darnell Jones-Bowie gets his three-pointer blocked. He gets the ball back, and he gets it stripped by Terrence Bush.
Great defensive play by Terrence Bush there.
Josh Robinson controlling the ball. Outlets it to number 1, who just checked into the game, Isaiah Thurman. And Terrence Bush, a strong drive to the basket. He is fouled on the way. He will go to the line for 2 shots. So not a starter.
He plays like one, though.
But he comes in, and you can see the impact not only on the offensive side, but he had that steal on the defensive end. He's making his impact felt.
Playing very well on both sides of the ball thus far.
Again, as we mentioned, scoring 20 points a game this year. He makes the first free throw.
Well, coaches would dream to have him as their 6th man, you would think.
Michael Russell entering the game for Jones-Bowie, giving him a breather. Michael Russell is the only returner that played significant minutes for the Blue Jays last season.
That was as a freshman, correct?
Yes, sir. Number 5, Tez Scroggins brings the ball, gives it to A.J. Downing. Plays off a pick, gives it to the right wing.
Little miscommunication on offense. I kind of sense it.
They're not flowing, they're not cutting well, they're kind of just standing around, and Coach Ratzliff said these are growing pains from an inexperienced bunch. Tevin Berry for 3-point on the right wing, and he sinks that through.
Good looking shot by Berry there. About 5 feet beyond the arc. Great touch.
It was a pure and smooth stroke, and that is a good sign for the Blue Jays to hit the 3 earlier. Now, what defensive pressure by A.J. Downing to cause a backcourt violation. As you can see, number 11, Terrence Bush, was confused because Downing was just all up in his face, and that's what you need to see.
Downing just very physical. He really gets up in their face and causes mistakes. That's what you need. And
with a prolific scorer like Terrence Bush, you need a defensive player like Downing guarding him at all times.
Matches up very well with him.
Tez Scroggins with the ball. Gives it to Tevin Berry, who controls the ball up top. Back to Scroggins. And again, they're just kind of standing around. I know they need to know when to cut, and that they'll learn to do that. Downing drives it to the basket.
Great defense by Terrence Bush. He's all up in his face.
Scroggins takes it upon himself, gives it over to Berry. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Scroggins, forces it up with one hand, and it goes in.
Great defense by Terrence Bush, too.
And very physical play going on. That was a physical finish. And it gives the Blue Jays a 14-13 lead with just about 13 minutes left to go in the first half. And driving it to the basket is Josh Robinson, and he lays it in. That was a nice, nifty move for a basket. Tez Scroggins
Bush saves the ball again.
Bush with another steal, and he fires up a 3-pointer. And boy, when he gets going, he is hot.
He is catching fire, folks.
And that is his 8th point, and he's been in for just several minutes. And that gives the Eagles an 18-14 lead here to go with exactly 13 minutes left to go in the first half. And the Blue Jays bringing in a number of substitutions. On the court right now is number 23, Tevin Berry, number 2, Darnell Jones-Bowie, number 13, Ricky Battles, number 10, Michael Russell, and number 0, Tyrell Thompson. As you can see the replay.
Hey, makes a great defensive play and makes a deep 3.
Terrence Bush just full confidence when he strokes it, and he's playing defense out here too. He's not doing it on one end. The Blue Jays have to contain him.
He puts the ball in the hoop with ease, doesn't he, Charles?
Absolutely. Jones-Bowie gives it over to Battles. Michael Russell with the ball up top. The Eagles in a man-to-man defense. Ricky Battle forces up a 3 from the left corner. That one is strong, but is rebounded by Tevin Berry. Michael Russell tries to find Battles underneath, but that is stolen by number 24, Christian Solderholm, who just checked back in for the Eagles. Number 1, Isaiah Thurman with the left wing 3. That is no good, tipped out of bounds, and it will stay with the Eagles. Almost looked like it was out of bounds off the Eagles. We have a substitution coming in for the Blue Jays, number 22, Patrick Roulette. Inbounding the ball for the Eagles is number 10, Josh Robinson. Gives it over to that man.
Bush again?
Bush, and the ball barely went in.
He's got a putback dunk.
Solderman tried to throw the ball down off the miss, but the dunk did not go. Kind of ambitious of him to go for a putback dunk.
Terrence Bush getting the rebound there. He is really just putting his name all over the stat sheet tonight.
And and the ball is deflected off his knee, I believe. Good defense there by Ricky Battles. And the ball will be Tabor basketball under their own basket. That is the type of defense that you need to see on Terrence Bush. Ricky Battles doing a good job of keeping his hands active but not fouling.
Battles and Bush is going to be a great matchup to key in on tonight.
A lot of good matchups at the guard position in this game. Dangerous pass, and it is stolen by Isaiah Thurman. Michael Russell trying to get back, and Isaiah Thurman throws it down with the right hand. Officials timeout to fix the net, and that is what you can't have. You got to control the turnovers if you're Tabor.
Yeah, a couple silly turnovers. Michael Russell tried to force the ball down low, and then that pass that leads to a dunk. Have to limit that if you're going to be a good team like Central Methodist.
At the 11:47 mark in the first half, the Blue Jays are trailing 14-20 to the Eagles of Central Methodist. Battles controls the ball, playing off a pick from Thompson. Jones Bowie with the pull-up jumper misses badly off the backboard. And the Eagles out in transition, gives it to Terrence Bush, and he Euro steps his way to a layup. That is his 10th point of the afternoon, of the evening, I should say. And Tabor with another turnover on a long pass, trying to force the issue in transition. And here comes Thurman in transition. Good defensive play by number 22, Patrick Roulette. And both teams are just getting out and running, kind of sloppy on both ends. And it ends with a foul with Tyrell Thompson going to the free throw line to shoot two.
This type of play leads to high scoring affairs, and I think you're going to see one tonight. Both teams are really scoring the basketball at will. Tabor offense a little slow lately, but hopefully we can see them fix things out.
And you can kind of see in that sequence of plays, both teams really trying to get in transition.
Have to win the 50-50 balls if you want a good chance to win.
Absolutely, and you have Tabor scoring 83 points a game averaging this season, which is really high, but then you got Central Methodist, who is averaging 100 points a game this season. Their high-scoring offense is going to be fun to watch for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, their last two victories, I mean, 105 against Kansas Christian and 119 against Baptist Bible. I mean, they can put up points in a hurry.
And so the transition game is what both teams like. Tyrell Thompson making the free throw count at the stripe, cuts the deficit to 7. So A.J. Downing and Scroggins back in for the Blue Jays. Right now, their tallest player on the court is the man shooting the free throw. That is Tyrell Thompson. He misses the second free throw. Goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. The Blue Jays really need to capitalize on the free throw and the free opportunities that they get today. Robinson controlling the ball for the Eagles. Good defense by Scroggins, denying the ball. Downing almost is able to intercept the pass to Bush. And you can see him in that stance. Oh, good pass to Solderman.
Have to play better defense than that. A little miscommunication there on the block.
And you can see the attention that Bush attracts. He attracted the double team that freed up Solderman. That was just a great pass down low to an open man cutting to the basket. A.J. Downing with the ball in the right corner. He's going to try to force the issue and drives in, and he's going to draw a foul, I believe, on Terrence Bush.
You want him in foul trouble, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. That is going to be his first on the night, and that is going to be a foul on the floor, not a shooting foul. Scroggins will inbound the ball for the Blue Jays. So a set inbound play is going to go to A.J. Downing. Thurman in battle. Matching up with Scroggins and A.J. Downing. A.J. Downing with the ball. Kicks it into the lanes to Thompson. And, oh, boy, he just muscles his way to a layup. That is a great move on the block.
Yes, especially when you're an undersized team. You have to be physical and really get after it.
Robinson drives, and they're going to call a foul on Tez Scroggins.
It's like Scroggins got hit in the mouth.
The question is, it is a shooting foul.
Hopefully Scroggins is okay. You certainly want that athletic guard in the lineup.
I believe that is his second foul of the game and the team's third foul. Robinson at the line misses the first free throw.
Missed free throws for both teams so far. You really need those free ones.
Tevin Berry coming in for Scroggins with those 2 fouls. Coach Ratzliff told us that they want to go 9 or 10 deep. They have a number of bodies that they want to get in there throughout the game. Josh Robinson, the lefty from the free throw line, misses both. That is huge, big misses. A.J. Downing pushing the ball, trying to get it into transition, kicks it out to Berry. Berry with this screen from Roulette. Battles with the left wing three that is no good. Rebounded by Robinson, and he's going to get in transition. He's going to kick. He found his man, Terrence Bush. His three is long. And the Blue Jays had a bunch of Blue Jays around for that rebound. They didn't know who was going to get it, so they all attempted to get it and tipped it right into the hands of an Eagle right under the basket for a 2-point layup.
Have to limit those second chance point opportunities.
And rebounding was a key point for the Blue Jays to hit the glass, and Battles again from the left corner, and this time he sinks a three.
Have to get him going. He's a great scorer.
That is his 5th point of the contest. Robinson, their point guard, bring the ball up, and look at A.J. Downing. They're going to call a foul on Downing. They say he held Terrence Bush, and you can see the emphasis that he is putting, the attention that he is giving Bush. He is face guarding him, not allowing him to get the ball, and that is the result of that foul.
Bush can just beat you in so many ways. He can drive to the lane. He can pull up from deep. Just a great all-around scorer.
A very confident scorer, and that is important. And checking into the game for the Eagles at point guard is number 3, Isaiah Sykes. And he gives the ball to Thurman, who bullies his way to the basket. And Tevin Berry draws the foul. The foul's going to be charged to Isaiah Thurman, and the Blue Jays will have the ball. Just a great defensive play to get into position and draw the foul.
Yeah, Tevin Berry, what is he, only 6'3"? Coach Rassler told us before the game he's starting at the 4. So it just shows that Tabor's really undersized, but Tevin Berry is athletic enough to play the 4.
He's a junior from Newton, Kansas, so a local player coming to play here at Tabor. Downing driving in the lane. It's out to Cutliff, who shoots a 3, and a high arcing shot goes in. And so just like that, the Blue Jays within 3 with 8:40 left to go here in the first half.
Cut the lead in half. Big basket there.
So Sykes over to Bush, who stumbles and falls in the turnover to Battles, who gets into transition for the easy deuce. And so right there, Bush slips and kind of loses control of the ball, and Ricky Battles, just Johnny on the spot, picks up the ball and goes the distance for a layup.
Jays are back in it. Have to capitalize on opportunities here.
So a 1-point game, the Eagles leading the Blue Jays on defense, and they have all the momentum right now as Thurman drives to the basket and silences the crowd.
What a play by Thurman. Really athletic move there to get to the basket.
The lead back up to 3 for the Eagles. Ricky Battles, and he's in his zone. He is in his element right now, and he gets the shot blocked. Isaiah Thurman with a good defense right there on Ricky Battles.
Battles is starting off a little cold. Hopefully he can get a little streak going here, catch some fire, and get some points for the Jays.
A.J. Downing drives down the left baseline, and ball goes out of bounds. Possession will go to Central Methodist.
A lot of back and forth play early, very competitive, just like we said in the pregame. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, and it looks like it's going to be.
Checking into the game for the Blue Jays is number 3, Nick Lee. And Nick has been in the program for 4 years. He's done his due diligence, and he is now getting playing time, a solid playing time as a senior. He is a sharp shooter. Isaiah Thurman goes to the baseline, dishes to number 12, Cameron Tutt, who lays it up and in, and the lead goes to 5 for the Eagles. A.J. Downing pushes the ball, gives it to Thompson, a nice dish underneath, and that ball is blocked off the backboard by number 24, Christian Solderman. Isaiah Thurman in transition gives it over to Terrence Bush, their sharpshooter. Sykes with the ball, guarded closely by Downing. And they're running that 3-man weave with the man running free on the baseline, and a good pass from Bush to Tutt. And another layup for Tutt. That is just a great play and setup by Bush.
We'll just have to be more physical inside. They've allowed back-to-back baskets in the paint. See if Micah Ratzlaff can make some changes here and hopefully defend better in the paint.
So the Blue Jays trim the lead to 1. That lead is back up to 7. Downing with a great drive and dish to Thompson, but he is not able to finish. He is saying to the official that he got fouled. Sykes bring the ball up for Central Methodist. He is guarded closely again by Downing. He is just providing constant on-ball pressure.
Downing's a ball hawk. He really gets in the player's face when he's guarding him.
We can see why Coach Ratzlaff is raving about his defensive prowess, and Bush from about 30 feet beyond the basket rings it.
Made that 3 with ease. Man, he is a scorer.
His 13th point of the afternoon. And he did not hesitate 1 second. He was
I mean, how do you stop that?
Cutliff throws the ball underneath, gets it to Nick Lee in the corner, and his three-point shot is long. Solderman outlets to Sykes, and he's going to try to get out and run. He's going to find his man Bush, and he is guarded by Tevin Berry.
Nice move by Bush.
That one's deep, and they're going to call a foul on DeAndre Cutliff. The question is whether the foul is on the floor or is it a shooting foul? Because if it is a shooting foul,
that is like it'll be on the floor.
Yep, and it will be on the floor. With 5:37 left to go in the first half.
Cutliff has had
the Blue Jays are trailing by 10 points.
Cutliff has had back-to-back poor possessions on defense. Hopefully he can figure some stuff out.
Checking in the games for the Blue Jays is Patrick Roulette, who's coming back into the game. Roulette is a 6'5" junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sykes with the ball out top, and he is guarded by Nick Lee. And Terrence Bush again with the ball. Isaiah Thurman, and he is fouled on the basket.
Look to be all ball from here.
The Blue Jays do not agree with that. And they're going to issue the foul on number 23, Tevin Berry. And as you see on the replay right here, I think he did get a little bit of the wrist right there. So good call by the officials. As Thurman makes the first free throw, pushes the lead to 11. So right now is the Blue Jays are in that danger zone as they don't want the Eagles to get too much of a lead. They want to trim that lead as much as they can going into halftime.
The three ball has been the Blue Jays' kryptonite on defense. Have to figure out a way to stop it.
Darnell Jones-Bowie bringing the ball up for the Blue Jays. He is guarded by Sykes. Roulette sets a screen, and the ball seemed like it was kicked. It rolls down underneath the Cutliff.
No kick ball there.
Tevin Berry forces up a three, and that one's too strong. Rebounded by Tutt, who outlets to Thurman. Thurman going in transition very fast. Gives it to Bush, and he misses the bunny. And that ball is going to be rebounded by Nick Lee, tipped out of bounds by Central Methodist. The Blue Jays will maintain possession. So the Blue Jays fortunate right there. Bush missing a bunny. He can make it from 30 feet, but right there he missed from 2 feet.
Makes the hard stuff look easy, that's for sure.
12-point lead for Central Methodist. The Blue Jays trying to chip into that lead. Tevin Berry controls the ball out top.
Tabor offense really needs to get kick-started here.
And they're just looks like they are going through the motions right now. Patrick Roulette with and Nick Lee, and he's going to draw a foul and almost gets the end one, but he's going to go to the line shooting two, and right there, one of our keys, rebounding, getting on the offensive glass and creating as many second chance opportunities as they can. That is going to be big into coming back into this game.
If you compete on the glass with this team, you have a really good chance of beating them. Great effort there by Nick Lee. He has limited minutes, but he's making the most out of it.
And Nick Lee, we talked about earlier, the senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. And he swishes the first free throw. And as we talked about, Nick is one of the hardest working players on this Blue Jay team. He puts in the amount of work that is needed outside of practice, probably puts in more work than anybody else working on his craft. And it's showing up, and it's paying off this year as he's getting some quality minutes, and he makes his second free throw. It trims the lead to 10. And we are going to go to break, and we'll come back as soon as the timeout is up. Tabor College would like to thank several sponsors for helping the Tabor College Basketball Classic. The Real Estate Center Incorporated, the specialized real estate service you deserve. Mid-America Youth Basketball, opportunity to improve basketball skills in a competitive setting. So, Joe, with 4:33 left to go in the first half, the Blue Jays trail 27-37. What are some things that they can do to chip away at this lead?
Well, just try to find ways to push the ball more in transition. As you see, the offense is kind of slow when they're in the half court. Most of their points have been off transition or drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line. I'd like to see the Tabor be more aggressive in that aspect.
Checking back into the game for the Eagles, number 0, Tyler Zinn, who hit 2 quick threes to start the game, but he does have 2 fouls, and he makes that mid-range jumper.
Shoot. Tyler Zinn can shoot.
Jones
up 9 miles away from here, too.
Jones, Bowie with a nice move to make his defender fall, but as he gets into the lane, forces the issue, and the ball goes out of bounds, controlled by Central Methodist. Right there, Jones, Bowie, great move to get into the lane, but he might have needed a jump stop and kick it out to an open man for 3.
Oh, his athleticism is unquestioned. I mean, he's a really athletic kid. He can score the basketball at will.
And so Jones, Bowie guarding Sykes. And the Blue Jays changing up their defense a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks like you're going 2-3 zone, if I'm correct. Does it look that way, Charles?
2-3 zone, maybe with trapping principles. Zinn for 3, and he's able to hit that. They're trying to throw a different defense out.
Yeah.
To trying to defend
the three-point line. It didn't work there, but I think it's a good idea by Coach Ratzliff. We'll see if it pans out.
Trying to upset the rhythm that the Eagles have from the three-point line. Tevin Berry, dangerous pass by Battle. A.J. Downing with the ball.
Like I said, Tabor very slow in the half court. They don't look very comfortable running their offensive sets.
And Ricky Battles misses that 3 strong. Isaiah Thurman pushing the ball.
Zinn wide open.
And Zinn, oh boy, he is in a zone.
Tyler Zinn and Terrence Bush, folks. They can shoot the 3 ball.
Tyler Zinn's 14th point of the first half. They have 2 players deep in double digits.
They call them the Splash Brothers because they're not missing tonight.
They are not missing. A.J. Downing with a nice find underneath. And Cutliff will go to the line shooting 2. The foul will be called on number 25, Jordan Akram. Just checking into the game, 2 shots.
I mean, Zinn was wide open on that last possession.
And so very quickly we see the Blue Jays deficit grow from 10 to 18. And with that free throw by Cutliff, it cuts it into 17 points with 2:58 left to go here in the first half. So, as we know, Central Methodist can score in bunches, and they have shown it here. They can absolutely shoot the ball.
I like what Ratzliff is doing, though, switching it up, giving him a different look. I think the 2-3 zone could work. I mean, you have to score on offense, though, and they're looking very uncomfortable in their offensive sets so far.
Isaiah Sykes bringing the ball. He is guarded by Darnell Jones-Bowie. And again, Central Methodist running that 3-man weave out top. Good cut by Zinn under the basket. Passes it to Sykes in the corner. They are just good at penetrating, and they're going to call a foul on a Blue Jay player. Not entirely sure that Isaiah Thurman was touched. However, the ref saw it, and he's going to call a foul on the wrist. And that is going to put the Eagles in the bonus. And as you see on the replay right here, it looks like
could be ball.
Tevin Berry touched a live ball right there, but the official must have seen something on the wrist. Thurman at the line, shooting a 1-on-1, makes the first free throw.
I mean, like you said, though, they're really penetrating well. They're forcing the Tabor defense to collapse in the middle, and it's leaving guys open.
And this is a very seasoned, older Central Methodist team. They have played together, and they have a rhythm right now on the offensive end, as you can see, as they are penetrating, kicking the ball out. Solid ball movement by the Eagles. So Tabor has to get something going here with 2:30 left to go in the first half. Tevin Berry and A.J. Downing playing a little bit of a 2-man game. Kick ball by Sykes. Possession will remain here with the Blue Jays.
Just a lot of standing around, you know, everybody waiting for the ball. I mean, maybe get some more screens or something, more backdoor cuts. I mean, we need to see it from Tabor.
And again, we talked about that chemistry. That chemistry will grow throughout the year as they get developed with each other and they get used to how each other plays. And so early on, remember, only 1 starter returns from the group from last year and only 2 players who played significant minutes are back for the Blue Jays.
That's a lot of minutes that need to be filled in.
And Tevin Berry drives to the basket and is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot 2. And the foul will be called on number 3, Isaiah Sykes. They have done a good job at getting to the charity stripe. They have done a good job getting into the lane and drawing fouls. It's converting free throws and making open shots is what is really struggling for the Blue Jays. Berry misses the first free throw.
I mean, Central Methodist, though, they're playing the way they want to play. They're playing really fast. They're getting a lot of open looks. They look very comfortable here tonight on the road.
It is the Tabor College Basketball Classic. There will be games again tomorrow night. We hope that you join us then. Sykes brings the ball up. Tut with the ball, hands it off to Isaiah Thurman, guarded closely by Ricky Battles. And good defensive hands right there for number 13, Ricky Battles. Forces the ball out of bounds. The possession will stay with the Eagles.
Looks like Tabor went back to man-to-man.
Thurman with the 15-foot mid-range shot. No good, but the ball is rebounded by Solderman, but he is blocked beautifully by the Blue Jay defense, but Blue Jays turn the ball right over, and Zen in transition, and look at that ball movement.
Great ball movement there.
Good ball movement by Zen, pushing it up to Sykes, and then Sykes dumping it back off to number 24, Christian Solderman.
It's easy to see why Central Methodist averages 100 points per game. I mean, they play fast and at will.
A.J. Downing shoots a 3 from the left corner, and that one is short, rebounded by DeAndre Cutliff. And he kicks it out to Ricky Battles, and he is penetrating the defense. A nice scoop layup there
by Battles.
That is a good play by Battles.
You can see why right there. He's the leading scorer for the Jays.
And that is Battles' 9th point of the first half, and Sykes open for 3. The Blue Jays are trapping out of the 2-3, and he misses strong. Battles with the rebound, and he is pushing. Tevin Berry on the right side wing, and he is short. That was a good, and that could have been a walk right there. I don't know if they're going to call it. They do call it a walk on Zen. So you see Tevin Berry right there missing the 3-point shot, but getting right back in and playing defense and forcing a turnover. So a 19-point game here with 54 seconds left to go in the first half. You'd like to see them cut it, the deficit from 19.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but I mean, we'll see. Crazier things have happened, but Blue Jays just need to find some life on offense right now.
Right now, you just want them to make a couple of open shots. You can't get the lead all back in one shot, so just run your offense and trust your teammates. Ricky Battles on the baseline, and his pass is thrown out of bounds by Isaiah Thurman. Good defense there by the Eagles. Blue Jays will have the ball under their own basket inbounding.
You just can't drive baseline against the Central Methodist team. They really communicate well on defense. It's really limiting the opportunities for Tabor to score.
Ricky Battles controls the ball up top, gives it to Berry. Blue Jays not shooting well from distance, just 3 of 11. Under 30% Cutliff right there for his second 3 of the game.
The fake handoff there by Cutliff threw off the defender, and he was wide open for the 3.
Such a high arcing shot, and it went in for the second 3 ball of the game.
Central Methodist looks like they're playing for the last shot of the half here.
And that is smart. The shot clock and game clock are almost identical.
Downing playing physical defense as he usually does.
Terrence Bush, that's the man who they want with the ball, and he drives it in for an easy layup. And the Blue Jays with a second left, and I don't believe he got the shot up even if it went in. So the Eagles getting a late bucket in the first half. Central Methodist leading the Tabor College Blue Jays by a score of 51-34. What did you see in that first half?
Central Methodist looks comfortable, Charles. I mean, they're really running well on transition. They're communicating well on the defensive side of the ball. What amazed me the most was the way that they were getting open looks on behind the arc. I mean, they're just shooting threes at will and just making them like crazy. Zen and Bush. Yeah, Zen and Bush.
And the point that you brought up before the game is Tabor guarding the 3-point line. Right now, Central Methodist is shooting above 50% from deep. They're 7 from 13 from beyond the arc. Tabor, just 4 of 13. And also Tabor, they've gone to the line 14 times, but they've just converted 8 of those. So the rebounding difference in the first half the Eagles are out-rebounding the Blue Jays by 6, and that was another one of your key points. So what do you see, not in transition, but underneath in the paint?
Well, Tabor's very undersized. I mean, yeah, you have to be a little bit more physical to get after the balls. You know, both teams are actually getting second chances. I mean, Tabor, they're getting second chances down low. Central Methodist is getting second chances down low. So, but for Tabor to come back, you have to limit the second chance opportunities, because once you give a team like Central Methodist a second chance, they will score the ball.
We are going to go on break right now. We're going to come back with a couple of stats from individuals from both teams, and the second half will start in about 13 minutes, so stay tuned for the second half action.
We are live back here at Tabor College. The Central Methodist Eagles lead at half by a score of 51-34. Let's take a look at some statistics from the first half. Let's go to individuals first. Tyler Zinn for Central Methodist is shooting 5 for 6 from the floor, but he's 4 for 5 from three-point land. He has 14 points in the first half. You can say the same thing about Terrence Bush, who's 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 6 from beyond the arc with 15 points. As a team for Central Methodist, they're shooting 60% from the floor, 53% from three-point land, and they are 8 for 10 from the charity strike. The leading rebounder for the Central Methodist Eagles is Christian Soderholm with a total of 5. Let's move down to Tabor, as offense has been kind of sluggish to start off the game, as the leading scorer with, I believe, let me see here, 9 points is Ricky Battles and DeAndre Cutliff. As a team for Tabor, they're shooting 42% from the field, 30% from three-point land, and a dismal 57% from the free throw line. And those are your first half stats for tonight's matchup. Central Methodist completely made Tabor look very off in the first half.
And as you see from the statistics, you see that Central Methodist got the bulk and a lot of their scoring from 2 players, and they did a lot of damage from behind the arc. And again, that goes back to our keys of the game for Tabor defending behind the arc. But Tyler Zinn and Terrence Bush have had their way. They get open looks, and that is due to the ball movement that Central Methodist have. They have a lot of shorter guards that can just penetrate, drive, and kick, which allows the open shooter to free up and shoot an open three.
Very fast guards, and hey, they have experience. I mean, a lot of returning minutes for this team. They really look like, I mean, they're in rhythm right now. It's pretty hard to stop this team right now.
And for the Blue Jays, as you see, the three-point shooting is not there. They're just 4 of 13. So if they want any chance to think about scratching back from this deficit, they're going to need to make some open threes. They're definitely going to need to make their free throws, which is going to be huge in the second half.
Well, they're just struggling to get open looks in the half court right now. I mean, they're really moving the ball very slow, not really setting a lot of screens. Guys just aren't getting open looks right now, and it's making it very difficult right now to score. And
Coach Ratzliff, I know he wants the players to move as a team, to pass the ball. He doesn't want too many isolation plays. He doesn't want any individual isolations. He wants a lot of ball movement, a lot of cuts to the basket. And at times in the first half, they were just very stagnant. A lot of just
a lot of standing still.
A lot of standing around and not a lot of cutting. But then you saw usually with A.J. Downing would penetrate and then find a man at the low block. So more of that will be needed in the second half, more penetration and kicking out to the open man. And so if Tabor, again, if they have any chance of coming back and cutting this deficit, they need to hit open threes, make free throws.
Have to limit open looks for Central Methodist as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It goes on both ends. 34 points for the Blue Jays in the first half, and that is not going to get it done. That is
especially against a team that averages 100 per game.
They're on par for 68 points for the game. That is almost 15 points below their season average for the Blue Jays. And Central Methodist is right on track to get their season average. They have 51 points here in the first half. Some more sponsors for the Tabor Basketball Classic that we would like to thank is Essential National Bank, Money for Life. Also, Elcon Services. They are there for all of your electrical needs. The Country Haven Inn here in Hillsborough, Marion County's finest lodging. And so with the fouls, there's not too many people in foul trouble for either team. Tyler Zinn got into foul trouble early, and that was probably good for the Blue Jays because he hit 2 early threes. But when he came back in, even though he had 2 fouls, he was able to hit 2 more threes and just really break this game open in the first half.
I mean, look at the stats. Zinn has done a majority of his damage beyond the three-point line. So Micah Ratzliff's going to have to find a way to limit the three-point shooting for Central Methodist. I mean, you saw he had the 2-3 zone look in the middle of the first half. Something's going to have to give here pretty shortly.
And Coach Ratzliff does like to play a very tough non-conference schedule. He doesn't like to schedule easy teams. He likes to schedule hard teams to get his team pretty seasoned going into conference play, and that is what they're doing tonight with Central Methodist. A lot of new faces here, again, on this Tabor roster, getting experience against quality competition. So to begin our second half, A.J. Downing starting the second half. He did not start the game.
Need that physical presence on defense to start the half. Hopefully he can make a difference here.
He's replacing Tez Scroggins. So Central Methodist with that three-man weave that was so effective in the first half out top, and Isaiah Thurman.
The three-man weave, as you say, is really just throwing our defense off. Not really sure where the ball's going on defense right now.
Ricky Battles goes into the corner to Cutliff. Jones Bowie penetrates and hits. Cutliff, who hit 2 threes from distance in the first half. A.J. Downing with an open look, passes up, slows the ball down. See, Tabor right now, there needs to be a little bit more ball movement. Jones Bowie tries to put Solderman on a poster.
Jones Bowie athleticism on full display there. I totally thought he put that Central Methodist defender on a poster there.
Lord have mercy. He gave him a platform and he tried to go up over Solderman and dunk it through. However, that does not result in any points in the stat book.
Wow, did he get up on that one, Charles?
He did get up, and we're back with the Eagles controlling the ball. Tutt has the ball. Beautiful backdoor cut by Thurman, and he misses the mid-range jumper. Solderman with the tough offensive board. It kicks it to Zen in the corner.
Tabor's just really not communicating well on defense. I mean, they allowed that backdoor cut. Zen is wide open in the corner. Have to limit those opportunities to beat a great team like Central Methodist.
And the Blue Jays turn the ball over, and they are down by 22 points. That is Zen's 5th three on the afternoon. He is 5 of 6 from distance, and that is going to hurt you no matter what.
Coach Rassler took the jacket off. He seems like he's in game mode right now. Down to crunch time here.
Just beginning the second half, the Blue Jays down by 22 points. Blue Jays with a nice defense rejecting that in the paint. Eric Locke kicks it to Zen. Zen, another three? Yes, he hits it.
Tyler Zen, 6 for 7 on the game now, beyond the arc.
His 6th three on the night, and he is just in some type of zone. We mentioned that he went to Marion County High School, just 9 miles down the road. Tevin Berry forces his way into lane, forces up a shot, no good.
Zen's wide open in the corner.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
In and out. That ball was halfway in and came out. That would have been his 7th three, 3rd of the second half.
Tabor's just looking sloppy on offense right now.
Too many turnovers and transitions. And
Zen again? No.
Thurman trips up. And so, smartly, the Eagles pull the ball out. That was a sloppy offense by both teams in transition.
Yeah, Tabor on transition worked really well in the first half there. Not so much. Really just not making great decisions right now.
And they're going to get Eric Locke for the offensive foul. Good defensive positioning by A.J. Downing. Good defense and a little bit of an acting job, but I think there was a forearm there by Locke. So again, not only the Blue Jays have to get into transition, but they need to be controlled in transition. They need to limit the turnovers. Turnovers just lead to empty possessions, and the Blue Jays do not need that right now.
It's weird. In transition, they're going too fast. In the half court, they're going too slow. And they just have to figure stuff out. This is what happens with an inexperienced team. They're really young, and they'll figure it out.
And they're hoping to find that happy medium between the two. Not too fast, not too slow. A.J. Downing with the three on the top of the key, and that goes in. That is a good sign for the Blue Jays to see a three-point shot go down here in the second half.
They need it, down by 22. Hopefully they can get on a nice run here.
Zen with the pick from Solderman, and good defense by Darnell Jones. Bowie rejects the pass from Zen and tips it out of bounds. The Eagles do maintain possession of the basketball underneath their basket. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. And a pretty good inbounds play. However, an offensive foul is going to be called on Zen, and that is huge. That is his 3rd foul of the afternoon. We haven't really talked about the shot clock too much because both teams really like to get out in transition, so we haven't seen the shot clock get too deep at times. A.J. Downing with the ball. Gets a screen from Berry. Downing penetrates. Ball is tipped. Downing able to control, and I believe they're going to call a foul on Christian Solderman, pushing Downing out of bounds. That's going to be Solderman's second foul. Blue Jays will inbounds the ball on the sideline. Downing controls the ball up top. Central Methodist playing that man-to-man as they did all first half. Blue Jays a little bit of action out top, a little ball movement. Downing trying to find Cutliff at the elbow. Barry finally finds him.
Trying to work the ball in the middle and suck the defense in.
2 seconds on the shot clock as we talk about the amount of times the shot clock did not go deep. It did go deep in that possession with the Blue Jays. Good defensive play by Ricky Battles. Intercepting that. Here. And another scoop shot, and that one falls no good. Solderman with the rebound. Strong rebound by Solderman underneath the basket, and I believe they're going to call a foul on DeAndre Cutliff, and that is his foul. And Cutliff is not really a power forward. He's only 6'3", 6'4", so he's more of the small forward build. But at times in the Blue Jay lineup, he is their tallest, most physical player.
Well, you're seeing it tonight. He's actually playing very physical. I mean, Solderman, he's not short by any means, and he's not small in stature. So he's playing really quality minutes tonight, I would say.
And Cutliff does have a toned body on him, so he is able to bang in the blocks. Zinn with a nice move out top. He's going to give it over to Solderman for the mid-range jumper, and that one is in.
You just see what happened there? The Blue Jay defense sucked in on Zinn as he was penetrating, and Solderman was wide open there. Great play.
Good two-man game by Zinn and Solderman. 15:46 left to go here in the second half. The Blue Jays leading 61-40 as the three-pointer is hit by Ricky Battles. The second three-pointer of the half for the Blue Jays. That is a welcome sign. Robinson controls the ball out top. He is guarded by A.J. Downing.
A.J. Downing, he just never takes a play off, doesn't he?
And that is good defense by Downing. And a bunny is missed by Thurman. Downing pushing up to Ricky Battles. Blue Jays have numbers and transitions, and Darnell Jones-Bowie finishes with a beautiful pass from Ricky Battle.
Darnell Jones-Bowie has been one of the bright spots for Tabor tonight. He's really scoring the ball at will.
And that was an example of the Blue Jays taking their time and transition, not getting oversped up and not turning the ball over. That was a great pass from Ricky Battle to Darnell Jones-Bowie.
Great decision to bounce pass it there right in front of the bucket.
And oh boy, what a pass that we got there by Tyler Zinn, finding Christian Solderman under the basket. 2 more points for the Eagles. The lead is 21. Jones-Bowie. Tevin Berry penetrates. He has Ricky Battle. He's going to shoot another three. And that one's a strong rebounded by Zinn. Gives it to Robinson.
They missed that three, but I like that possession. They're really penetrating the ball, trying to get open shots on the outside. I really like that.
They were doing their best to have solid ball movement here to start the second half. Robinson, and he go all the way. An unorthodox scoop shot there from the right side. He used his left hand. He didn't need to, but it went in either way.
That did not look easy.
He had a clear shot to the basket, but decided to jump prematurely in air, but was able to finish. And Tevin Berry from the right corner. A.J. Downing with the assist. And the Blue Jays are really shooting the ball well here to start the second half.
Blue Jays offense is showing some life. They're getting a lot of open looks.
And Tutt is hacked on the way to the basket. Tevin Berry fouls him. I believe that will be a 2-point. It would be a shooting foul. Two shots from the free throw line.
Really like the adjustments this offense has made since halftime. They're getting a lot of open looks, a lot of penetration. Similar to what Central Methodist does in the half court. They like to suck the defense in, get some open shots on the outside.
Blue Jays are scoring better here in the second half. However, they need to find a way to get stops on the defensive end. And entering the game for the Eagles is their man, number 11, Terrence Bush, their sharpshooter. You wouldn't think that someone that shoots 50% from the three-point line in the first half would actually hurt his three-point percentage of the year, but it did, because he came into the game shooting 58% from distance, and he is 3 of 6 in the first half. Tutt makes that free throw, extends the lead to 22.
Nice move by Jones-Bowie there.
Oh, what an athletic move to get to the basket, but he has to finish that layup. He did all the work to get there, and he was open, and he just couldn't finish the bunny. Robinson trying to set up the offense, but A.J. Downing not trying to let them get into any type of rhythm is in Robinson's face. Tutt with the ball driving to the left side, and he just goes right through Tevin Berry for the layup. As we mentioned, the Blue Jay offense showing some life here in the second half. However, their defense, they just can't get a stop.
They can't.
Darnell Jones-Bowie applying some ball movement. A.J. Downing with a nice pass to the top of the key by Tevin Berry.
I think Downing was wide open there at the bottom, but...
And the foul's going to be called on the Eagles on number 25, Jordan Akram. And it's going to be a foul on the floor. Blue Jays will take the ball out. A couple of new players in for the Blue Jays. Michael Russell and Tyrell Thompson have checked in. And there's going to be another foul called on the Eagles. And that's going to be on Terrence Bush. That's going to be his second foul. But that is quickly the team's fifth foul here in the second half. Oh, good play and setup by the Blue Jays. Great out-of-bounds play. Streaking Patrick Roulette was wide open on the way to the basket for an easy layup. And here is that three-man weave that is so effective against this Blue Jay defense.
Michael Russell playing very good defense on Zen. Gotta like that.
Robinson gets his way all the way to the basket. It's not able to get the rebounds as the Blue Jays. Cameron Tutt for the Eagles really fighting underneath, and and I believe, and there's a little bit of confusion on the court. I'm not entirely sure. I believe the official from the far sideline signaled for a timeout. Okay, so I see what happened there. I believe there was the official from the far baseline heard a timeout call. The officials came together, and it was an inadvertent whistle, so they gave a jump ball, and so the possession will go to the Blue Jays. Because that far official was signaling for a timeout from the Eagles, and they're going to try to get together again. I'm not entirely sure what they are talking about.
Great fight by the Blue Jays there, though. You have to win 50-50 balls, and they're getting possession here. Hopefully they can make the most of it. 12 minutes left.
And it was pretty amusing that official came in and signaled timeout, and if you look at the Central Methodist bench, they were like, who called timeout? None of us did. And
they're the only ones that can't call timeout because they have the ball, so.
A.J. Downing controls the ball at the top of the key, gives it to Jones-Bowie, who's had a good second half. Michael Russell with the ball. The Blue Jays trying to run that 4-out, 1-in offense. Patrick Roulette with the straightaway three is a little bit strong, rebounded by Central Methodist. Ball controlled by Robinson. Oh, what a nice cut to the basket. I believe they're going to call a foul on Roulette. And they're just doing really good at slipping that screener down to the basket, and the Blue Jays just do not have an answer right now for that cutter. He's streaking wide open to the basket.
They're just playing much quicker than Tabor right now. I mean, Roulette was beat.
And they're playing one step ahead when Central Methodist, the Blue Jays are trying to go to their shooters, but right now Central Methodist is doing a good job getting the ball to their cutters. Their shooters are being unselfish, passing the ball in the paint to a wide open cutter. Christian Solderman sinks the first free throw. And right now it's not looking pretty for Tabor. Trailing 70-47, Central Methodist on top. Checking into the game for the first time for the Blue Jays is Desmond Barnes, a junior from Houston, Texas. He is controlling the ball now, and he is a very, very quick point guard. Thompson on the left baseline goes to the middle. Ball rolls over to Jones-Bowie. He forces up a three, and it clanks off, rebounded by Central Methodist, outletted to Robinson. Robinson pushes up to Solderman. He's going to shoot the wide open three, and that one's a little bit short. Rebounded by Roulette, throws it back into Solderman, and he's going to get fouled by number 10, Michael Russell. Second chance opportunities that as we talked about in the first half, not helping the Blue Jays. Solderman going back to the line, his second trip in a very short amount of time. Solderman is 4 of 6 from the field. 9 points on the afternoon. And a new player for the Blue Jays is checking in.
Nathan Aarons, I believe.
Number 35, Nathan Aarons. And he's a bigger body that the Blue Jays have. And, oh, Lord have mercy, another offensive second chance opportunity for Central Methodist results in an easy bucket underneath. And
that's been the story of the night. Central Methodist getting a lot of opportunities.
That is not what you want to see on a free throw missed as an offensive rebound. That, as a coach, is just going to cause some nightmares. Michael Russell. Try to penetrate to the left baseline. This pass is rejected out of bounds, deflected by Central Methodist. The Blue Jays will have the ball in an inbounds play. They had a good inbounds play set up the last time they were able to get a bucket. Let's see what they do. Let's see what Coach Ratzliff calls here.
This could be a time to try some new stuff out.
And so a lot of new players in. The senior Nick Lee is back in the ball game. Thompson with the
little acrobatic play there.
Michael Russell's going to shoot a three from the top of the key, but the rebound is rebounded by Nathan Aarons, but he is unable to make the shot underneath. But you like the aggression that Aarons showed there to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, Aarons, who doesn't play much, he's making the most out of his minutes. You know, he's playing here late, trying to get some experience and get some confidence. Like to see that.
Meanwhile, Terrence Bush flying to the basket, drawing the foul, shooting 2 free throws. And that is Bush's first points of the second half, his 16th point of the game. Isaiah Sykes is checking in the ball game for Robinson. Bush sinks a second free throw. It extends the lead to 75-47. Nick Lee, thought about a three from the left corner. Thought better of it. Controls the ball, gives it to Michael Russell. A lot of new players in. There is not one starter on the floor for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, both teams seem to be emptying their benches. So it's a 28-point lead.
Coach Ratzliff saw enough from his starters to take him out and put in the guys from the bench to see what they have. Bush shoots a three. As we know, he is deadly, but is far. Ball tipped out of bounds by Michael Russell. Central Methodist maintains possession.
Tabor's just looked really sluggish all night. Hopefully they can get back on track tomorrow.
Tabor started out hot for the second half, making a couple threes, but their offense has done nothing in the past few minutes. Sykes.
These are crucial minutes, though, for these guys coming off the bench. Get some confidence.
The guys that
game experience.
Guys coming off the bench, this is time for them to earn their stripes and show their coach that they can play too. Offensive rebound by Solderman. A lot of second chance opportunities here for the Eagles. Aarons pump fakes, drives to the basket, forces his way in. They're going to call a foul. I believe they're going to call a foul on number 25, Jordan Akram. And that is who it is on. So a nice pump fake by Nathan Aarons on the right side, drove it in and drew the foul.
Yeah, Nathan Aarons has looked pretty good in his few minutes tonight.
Aarons is a 6'4" sophomore out of Newton, Kansas, another local Kansan here contributing for the Blue Jays. Checking in for Central Methodist. Cameron Tutt is coming back in, replaces Ankrum, who fouled Aarons on that play. Aarons able to make both of them. 27-point lead here in the second half for the Eagles of Central Methodist. Beg your pardon, is a 28-point lead. Tutt with a good move. I believe Aarons was in position, and no, the big fella taking the charge. You'd like to see that. Cameron Tutt, one of their bigger guys, forced his way into the lane, and Nathan Aarons there again, Johnny on the spot, had possession and drew the charge. That is the second charge that the Blue Jays have drawn tonight.
Nathan Aarons has had, 3 minutes, and he has 4 points already, and he's taking a charge.
He is making his impact felt. And Cutliff is back in the game, and his shot is blocked by Solderman. Good defense by Solderman. The Eagles pushing it up. Terrence Bush with the ball. He pulled up from that range there in the first half. Was thinking about it again. Wow, tried to pass it in the paint. A good idea, but Solderman wasn't able to corral it. And that was a good pass by Desmond Barnes to Nathan Aarons, but Aarons was just not able to finish.
I think that pass threw him off guard. It was a pretty good pass.
Yeah,
pretty good idea.
Desmond Barnes in transition got very quickly up the court, and no look bounce back to Nathan Aarons, who we're not sure if he was expecting the pass, but the Blue Jays are able to maintain possession.
In some ways, that's a good thing because the defense probably wasn't expecting it either.
Barnes comes out of the games. Nick Lee with the ball. He is a good shooter. He's only attempted 1 3. He's missed it tonight. A.J. Downing back in the game for the Blue Jays. And Downey forces up a 3, is short. Skying for the rebound is Terrence Bush. And they're going to call a foul on Central Methodist, so Tabor will maintain possession. Just checking in the game for the Eagles is number 32, Carl Izzet, a freshman from New Zealand. And he is instantly called for the foul.
Big kid, though. He's listed at 6'8".
6'8". Big frosh. The Blue Jays are in the bonus, so Tyrell Thompson will go to the free throw line, shooting a 1-and-1. Blue Jays did not shoot well from the charity stripe in the first half. Thompson strong on the free throw, but fighting for the rebound is DeAndre Cutliff, but it is won eventually by Terrence Bush. And he gives way to Isaiah Sykes, and he's going to control the ball and run their offense a little bit. Let's see if they go back to that 3-man weave that has been so effective tonight.
Central Methodist just not taking their foot off the gas pedal right now.
What a good move by the big man. The freshman the freshman Carl Izzet with a great spin move. The big man showing his moves in the paint. And for the Blue Jays on the other end, Michael Russell hits a 3, his first 3 of the afternoon.
Michael Russell, a sophomore, very promising future.
He's one of those 2 returning contributors for the Blue Jays, and the Eagles had an open 3 and they missed it. Rebounded by Cutliff.
Tabor playing with some life the last few minutes.
A.J. Downing with the ball, pushing it up, gets it to Cutliff, who's made a couple 3s. Nick Lee for 3, and it goes in and out. Cutliff with another rebound, skying in. Michael Russell from that same spot to where they hit the 3 earlier.
He got it.
Hits it again. Michael Russell, 2 consecutive 3s.
He's a guy that's going to maybe play critical minutes down the road.
Last year, he got critical minutes when they needed it. Oh, Downey, great steal. He's going to outlet to Russell. Russell has numbers. There's a 3-on-2, and he's going to give to Thompson, and he is hacked.
Great pass from Michael Russell, who's made back-to-back 3s, really making a name for himself in the last minute or 2.
And right there, again, that is another example of Tabor in transition working effectively. A.J. Downing got the ball on the opposite end. He outletted it to an open Michael Russell. Russell did not pass the ball too early or too late. He passed it to Thompson, streaking to the basket at the right time, and it resulted in a trip to the free throw line. Thompson misses another free throw. Tevin Berry coming in the game for Nick Lee. Tevin Berry, a junior.
Second one is off the mark.
Sykes with the ball. You can see right there Jeff Sherman coaching up his players. He took a player out because he didn't play defense the way he liked, and he instantly took him out, and he was kind of schooling him right there on what he should and should not do.
And that's exactly why he's been here for 30-plus seasons. I mean, he's a very
I believe there's a technical foul that has just been called, I believe, on Isaiah Thurman.
Yeah, there is. It's going to be a technical foul.
And it's going to be on not Isaiah Thurman, but on their point guard, Isaiah Sykes is going to be called for the technical foul. He is confused. And so Tevin Berry is going to shoot the free throws for Tabor, who came into the game shooting 71% from the line, but been struggling tonight from the charity stripe. Berry is able to sink both from the line. Got a little help from Central Methodist there. Berry has 8 points on the afternoon. Blue Jays will have possession after the technical foul. in the game for the Blue Jays is Tevin Berry, A.J. Downing, Michael Russell, Tyrell Thompson, and DeAndre Cutliff. This is one of their bigger lineups with both Cutliff and Thompson in the ballgame, along with Tevin Berry, who is 6'4". Michael Russell had 2 quick threes here a second ago. Controls the ball out top. Thought about a 3-pump fake, and that ball is stolen by Isaiah Thurman. And he is thinking about dunking it, lost control, and was able to finger roll it in for a layup.
Points off turnovers have been huge for Central Methodist tonight. Tabor's going to have to limit that for down the road.
You do not like to see the turnovers, either in transition or in the half-court offense. Tabor has turned the ball over a little bit too much tonight. Downey to Berry, who forces himself in the lane.
Again?
Not that time by Michael Russell, attempting to make his 3rd consecutive 3. Zen trying to rifle that pass in the lane to Izzet, and that was great hands by the Blue Jay defense. And they're coming back in transition. Cutliff, who's hit 2 threes already, passes on the opportunity. Downey with a nice pass to Thompson, who passes it to Cutliff, and the ball is deflected by Central Methodist.
Have to love the ball movement late in the game, though. Maybe that's going to create some things for tomorrow and games after.
Blue Jays being unselfish right there. Almost resulted into an open look underneath. Good defense by Central Methodist, tipped out of bounds.
Battles will check back in.
Darnell Jones-Bowie also checking in. Downey inbounds it to Battle out top.
Kick ball, maybe?
Ball goes out of bounds, still controlled by Tabor. With 5:45 left to go here in the second half, 12 seconds on the shot clock. And just a reminder, the Blue Jays play again tomorrow. Cutliff with the ball on the left baseline. Nice skip pass to Berry, who sinks the 3 in. That is Berry's 11th point on the afternoon. Tabor shooting the ball a little bit better here in the second half. Robinson guarded by Darnell Jones-Bowie. They're going to call it travel on Zen. Jeff Sherman, the coach of Central Methodist, does not like what he sees right there from his team. A little bit sloppy in the past few minutes for Central Methodist. Has allowed Tabor to chip the lead just a little bit. They're trailing by 21 points, 81-60. What have you seen here in the second half that Tabor has done well, and what have they not done so well?
Well, Tabor's playing with a little more life in the last few minutes. I mean, you got some guys mixing and matching coming in and just doing a great job. They're playing well in transition. Let's see, who was it again? Michael Russell? Michael Russell had a nice pass to, I think, Nathan Aarons down low to create another bucket. And just guys are just coming in and playing good.
What the Blue Jays really need to limit is these droughts, this absence of points for a long amount of time. They went there for about 6 minutes with 0 points. And if they can eliminate that, they can eliminate these runs by Central Methodist going out by so many points. So, back in action. We got the ball with Ricky Battles controlling it, giving it to Darnell Jones-Bowie. Ricky Battles forcing his way into the lane, a spin move and a jump shot over Isaiah Thurman. A nice looking play there. Tyler Zen
athletic move by Zen there.
Doing his best Dr. J impersonation, does not go in. The Blue Jays in transition. Oh, what a nice transition play there.
That was the best transition for Tabor tonight. Really looking good, great pass.
It all started on the defensive end as A.J. Downing stripped the big man for Central Methodist, and he ran the distance of the court and passed it at the last second to Darnell Jones-Bowie as Izzet hits the long jumper for Central Methodist there. Downey again, really forcing the issue, driving it. Cutliff tries to throw it out top, and it is stolen by Robinson, who outlets it to Thurman. Oh, that is just nice.
4 points off turnovers.
Right now, transition offense for both teams working. Right now, if you're the Blue Jays, you just want to work on your offense. You want to better yourself. Berry with the open corner 3. Oh, good positioning by Cutliff in the block, able to rebound. And they're going to call another foul on number 32, Carl Izzet. And the Blue Jays will be in the double bonus, so shooting 2. Cutliff, and you like to see that from your undersized big men. being able to get positioning on the offensive glass and creating second chance opportunities for the Blue Jays.
Especially against a front line that's 6'6" or taller. I mean, you're going to be playing against opponents like that all year. So great learning experience tonight for Tabor, I think. And
Cutliff started last year, played a lot of minutes for the Blue Jays, and so he is used to being undersized a little bit. They use him as their big man at times. And he's at the line here shooting his first free throw. Nice, smooth stroke. Cutliff has 9 points on the afternoon, misses the second free throw, rebounded and controlled by Central Methodist. Just under the 4-minute mark here to go in the second half. Eric Locke controls the ball. There's that three-man weave and a good drive by Isaiah Thurman. He is fouled by Tevin Berry.
Is it on the floor? It looks like it is.
I believe it is, and they are not yet in the bonus, so they're going to inbounds the ball underneath their own basket. And that offense has been so effective for Central Methodist. They get their players moving out top, a lot of moving bodies, and they just know when to cut and when to drive.
You can see why they score 100 points per game with ease, it seems like.
Tyler Zinn misses a jump shot. Blue Jays out in transition, and again, not forcing the issue in transition and making smart decisions leads to another Blue Jay bucket here in the second half.
Tevin Berry, a very athletic four for Coach Ratzlaff. Coach Ratzlaff really likes utilizing him.
Darnell Jones-Bowie was the one that found Berry up court. Good pass. And here's Central Methodist running that offense. Thurman has been slashing to the basket all night. That ball is blocked beautifully by Darnell Jones-Bowie, and he's going to be on transition, and he's going to get his block shot tipped, but it is cleaned up under the basket by Ricky Battles. Just a beautiful defensive play by Jones-Bowie, who swallowed that shot attempt and went off in transition almost simultaneously. Thurman again driving to the basket for the Eagles, and I believe...
I'll tell you what, Charles, it's going to be a fun season to watch this backcourt play. Ricky Battles and Jones-Bowie, very athletic guards that can score.
The key for the Blue Jays is just developing that chemistry, developing that defensive grind that they need to get on, because they have a trio of solid guards. Defensively, you got A.J. Downing, who is skilled at guarding better offensive players. And then obviously you got Battles and Jones-Bowie, two prolific scorers for the Blue Jays.
I feel like A.J. Downing could defend the 1 through 4 with no issues.
And he has the mentality, he has that bulldog mentality that you like to see out of your guard, a tough, hard-nosed guard, play solid defense. The Blue Jays turned the ball over briefly, but maintained possession as an Eagle stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Downing inbounding the play. Looking for a cutter that wasn't there. Finally gives it to Berry at the elbow. He's going to stop and pop a 15-footer. That is good.
Berry off to some hot shooting here in the second half.
Berry is now in double digits with 15. Terrence Bush is back in the game, and he has done nothing tonight but score. And he is able to get the rim with ease, and Cutliff, smart.
Berry again?
Berry's been feeling
he got
the hot hand here in the second half. Second consecutive shot that he has made, this time behind the arc, and that puts his point total on the night up to 18.
I think that's the leading scorer tonight for the Jays.
He is the leading scorer for the Blue Jays. Tyler Zinn, a little guy forcing his way amongst the trees with the layup. And
meanwhile, the leading scorer for Central Methodist is making his mark late in the game.
A blocking foul is going to be called on Isaiah Thurman as Tevin Berry drove to the basket. Tyler Zinn for Central Methodist, a man that went to high school at Marion, right down the road, has 22 points on the afternoon.
Tevin Berry had 3 points in the first half. He has 15 in the second.
He has really had a confident stroke here in the second half, but he misses the front free throw. Under 2 minutes left to go today. Again, Tabor plays tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow at the same time. Beg your pardon, 7 o'clock tip tomorrow for the Blue Jays against Barkley. Central Methodist, like a well-oiled machine, running that offense. Still have their primary players and starters in the game. Zinn working on his craft, and it is stripped beautifully by the big man DeAndre Cutliff. What a defensive effort. And then the outlet from Battle to Darnell Jones, and Battle, just like he did a few moments before, cleans up the offensive glass in transition and lays the ball up.
Jones Bowie just playing a little too fast for his liking, I would say. But, hey, Battle, second time in a row, he's been right behind him.
Still getting open looks in transition. Jeff Sherman wants another timeout here with 1:11 left to go here in the second half.
Hey, what a comeback, though. The deficit was around 24 points, I believe. Cut it down to 14.
So that is, as a coach, you never want to lose. However, during the duration of this game, the Blue Jays have cut the deficit to 14 points. It was 24, as you mentioned. So you like to see that. You like to see life out of your team and not just rolling over and playing dead.
Yeah, hopefully Tabor can carry this momentum tomorrow.
And again, tomorrow, that is a 7 o'clock tip-off against Barkley. Should be a good game. Tabor looking for a win tomorrow.
Yeah, Sherman yelling at his team even when he knows his team has won the game just goes to show how intense he is as a coach, and that's why he's been so successful, I think, for 30-plus seasons for Central Methodist.
Again, in his 34th season, he knows what he is doing right now, and he knows that his offense is being lackadaisical with the ball. A few turnovers, a few sloppy passes by his offense, and he is not happy. He wants to see his offense continue to produce buckets, even though they are up, they have a big lead. He wants to see that offense be able to get to the rim still, not turn the ball over. He wants them to, because they are working on their game just like Tabor's working on their game.
Yeah, Tabor's a quality opponent for Central Methodist as well. I mean, you certainly want to implement your stuff against teams like this. So later in the year when you play competition similar to these type of teams, I mean, you're ready to compete.
Absolutely. And Central Methodist inbounds the ball. Eric Locke controls the point. And they're, as you see, coming out of that timeout, they're trying to run that offense as Coach Sherman wants him to do. Eric Locke looking for Jordan Akram. He drives in the lane, kicks to Robinson. 5 on the shot clock. Oh, they find their man Terrence Bush, and he takes a step-back jumper, and they're going to call a foul on Darnell Jones Bowie. Terrence Bush, the lethal three-point shooter, is going to go to the line for 3 shots.
The thing that impressed me on that possession, A.J. Downing is such a tenacious defender in his guy's face for basically the whole time on the shot clock. Really good defender.
You are absolutely right. Not only great defense by A.J. Downing, but throughout the duration of that possession, it was great team defense by Tabor, just resulted in an unfortunate foul there at the end. But good team defense to get the shot clock deep. And Terrence Bush was able to draw the foul from beyond the arc. Makes his second free throw. And makes his third. Score goes to 94-77 with just 45 seconds left to go here in the second half. Blue Jays won another quality possession or two. Jones Bowie playing a 2-for-1, goes up and he can't miss. A tough shot in the lane, contested by a number of different Eagles. So 30 seconds left to go, 23 on the shot clock. Central Methodist may look to run the clock all the way down. Still running that 3-man weave. Oh, good hands by A.J. Downing. Oh, and he is swiped by Thurman, but no foul, no call by the official. 12 seconds left to go, scoop shot by Thurman. Barry pushes. Jones Bowie penetrating in the lane, a floater goes, and just before the buzzer, Jones Bowie is able to hit that floater. And the final score of the game tonight. Unfortunately, the Tabor College Blue Jays lose to the Central Methodist Eagles by a score of 96-79. Stay tuned. We're going to come back with final stats, a little bit of final analysis in a few minutes. The final score to tonight's contest, the Blue Jays losing to the Eagles of Central Methodist by a score of 96-79. We got a couple final statistics to get to you. For the Blue Jays, their leading scorer was Tevin Berry with 19 points. He was 4 for 7 from beyond the arc, which was really good. You really saw him score the majority of his points in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, he caught heat in the second half. First half, he was a little sluggish, but the whole offense as a whole was very sluggish in the first half. Great to see Tevin Berry get some quality shots up and some quality minutes in the second half.
Ricky Battles also for Tabor, scoring 18 points. He was 8 from 16 from the field, shot 2 from 7 from distance. And he also, in the second half, came along nicely, especially in transition and hitting the offensive glass.
Yeah, he matches his season average for points per game. Would like to see his three-point shot be a little bit more consistent in the games ahead. But yeah, Ricky Battles, I mean, he's always going to be there for Tabor. He's a pretty consistent scorer, and I think Coach Ratzlaff's going to really be able to rely on him.
And another player, you got to give this guy some props. DeAndre Cutliff, an undersized forward. He finished the night with 10 points and 6 rebounds. He really played well on the block for Tabor, really gave them a lot of much-needed size.
Yeah, he played well on the block, but the thing that shocked me the most, Charles, is I didn't know he could shoot like that beyond the arc. I mean, I don't know exactly how many threes he made tonight, but he really impresses me both inside and outside.
Cutliff was 2 from 2 from distance. And so a little bit now for Central Methodist, they had a number of players in double figures. They were led. 2 players with 22 points, Tyler Zinn and Terrence Bush. Both players caught fire in the first half to kind of extend, to build that initial lead, and the Blue Jays were just never able to come back.
Yeah, they looked like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson tonight, didn't they? I mean, they just made threes left and right. Very hard to stop them when they're in a rhythm. I mean, when it seems like, I mean, you probably played basketball before. When you're in a rhythm shooting, you just feel invincible, it seems like.
Also in double figures was Isaiah Thurman with 18. Cameron Tutt, their big man, with 10 points, and Christian Solderman, their other big man, with 12. So that wraps things up from us here at Tabor College. Remember, tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock as the Blue Jays will be back on playing Barkley at 7 o'clock.